This is the Best Of Show on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Stephen Merchant.
Yes.
I hope you're enjoying the Best Of. I know what you're thinking. If this is the best, my Christ, what was the rest like? Well, we'll be back in a week's time, so you can judge it for yourself live. But anyway, in the meantime, this is one of the best clips I've ever heard.
Oh, I'm laughing just thinking about what it might be.
He said he's, you know, oh God, it's like a child or a cat when it's confused. He went, Steve reckons, in ancient Greece, right, it was better to shag a bloke than a woman. And I went, well, yeah. I mean, that's about the male being, sort of a first-class citizen. Yeah. Much better, wasn't it? An aspiration to sleep with a beautiful man than a beautiful woman.
Women were lower-class citizens, so therefore men were seen as higher class. So to have sexual relations with a man there was no shame in that.
No.
In fact, it was looked upon.
And
as
I said, well, it's, you know, ancient Rome. I said, Nero, he used to sit in his big jacuzzi and he used to get, you know, pretty boy men to just go into the water and just nibble at his testicles while he was having a watch.
He didn't do that.
He did. Yeah.
And he's not a gay fella.
No, well, no. I mean, you know, I don't know about Nero, but I mean, it wasn't a case of a big delineation between what was heterosexual and what was gay. It was just, you know, whatever you.
So what did this fella do then? This one who's having his.
Well, he was pretty much top boy, Nero, for a while.
He was in charge.
And you know, and you did what you're told. If Caesar or.
But why were people going round there? Why didn't they go? Oh.
No, they weren't dropping in. It wasn't like the doors opening. I was just going to see what Nero's doing. You'd have probably been like a delivery boy or a stable boy or something, you know, and you'd have popped round there and you'd have gone, there at Nero, as the tablets of stone you wanted, and they go, Pilkington, why you are here? Pop under. I don't know why he's French.
What is that?
I don't know why he's French. Just pop under the water and nibble at my testicles, and you'd have done it.
Because he was Nero.
I wouldn't.
You would have.
Well, there's no way I would have done.
Yeah, well, you would have.
What have I done? I've dropped a pizza off.
Yeah, you put round to Nero's place with a pizza.
Dropped a pizza.
Right, I'd say I've done my job. Right?
Yeah.
That's not the sort of tip I wanted.
Yeah. No, he'd have said, get the little baldy chap to nibble at my testicles, and you'd have been under the water.
I wouldn't have done it.
No,
Well,
you
don't
have
put me head under
You
water.
have done it, right.
No, I wouldn't have done it.
Can I just say this, Steve? Not only would you be nibbling at his testicles, you'd have been going mad. You'd have been noshing him just for extra. You'd have been doing everything he wanted. You'd have been going, he'd have gone, I didn't ask you to do that. You'd have been going mental. They'd have been chewing, slurping, smacking, poking. You'd have chopped, you'd have gnawed his packet off. You'd think you were eating Walker's crisps. There'd be bubbles, there'd be fly. Oh, it'd be horrible.
That was Bowie and Waterloo Sunset. Love that. Love the original. Love Bowie. Bowie was my gig of the year. These are my singles of the year. These are our clips of the year. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Stephen Merchant. We're just picking some lovely little bits and pieces.
Do you remember when we talked about this?
That's the sort of thing I think we need now, right? We've covered a lot of stuff.
What, education?
Teaching, yeah.
Well, okay, what do you want to know?
Don't know.
Have you got something? Can you educate us on anything?
I've been reading bits
So could we bring back just for one night only, educating Ricky?
Oh, I'm excited.
Yeah? Do you think it warrants that?
I don't know enough about it. Do you know what I mean?
About what?
It sounds perfect. Play the jingle.
Oh, educating Ricky, he's getting smarter.
A couple of things happened in the week that I read about.
Okay.
Keeping up on what's going on in that.
Sure.
Yeah.
One was about that Galileo fella.
Okay.
Was it about 1636? Was it?
I think it might have been
not
earlier.
bad.
Go on.
Did some stuff with light and that?
Yeah, he did lots of physical experiments, yeah.
Is that it then, Carl, is it? He
That's
did
that
some
sort
stuff
of-
with light and that.
What did he do with light? What was that?
Well, I think he invented the first...
Telescope.
Telescope. So I think it's a particular lens, though, and he did experiments where he dropped famously two different weighted balls from Pisa, and they hit the ground at the same time, showing that doesn't matter, the weight doesn't matter, but air resistance does, and stuff like that.
I think he probably explained it a bit better than that.
Yeah, but I'm talking to Carl.
Sure.
But did they need to know
He's
stuff?
just thinking about pizza.
Yeah.
Did they need to know stuff like that back then?
What do you mean, did they need to know stuff like that? It's just...
There weren't people going around going, I've got to drop these two things off the Leaning Tower of Pizza. I just don't know which one's going to land first.
Yeah, I need to know. Why do you need to know
Bring me
that?
Galileo.
Yeah.
It's for a bet.
Yeah.
No, but if I was knocking about then, I'd be like, stop messing with that. We need a telly. Or, do you know what I mean?
I bet he thinks the Flintstones is real.
I know.
That'd be brilliant. That's what I'd do if I was a caveman. I'd make a telly out of rock.
Yeah.
And a pelican
And a
as
car
a
that I
cement
just
mixer.
ran along the road with.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we need a car.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't really got the internal combustion engine. Can you stick your feet through the bottom? Yeah, just get me a car, for Christ's sake.
Anyway, so I learnt that. And
Yeah.
then,
What?
You learnt his name.
Yeah.
Other people I learnt the
Brilliant.
name of this week.
Oh, if a chimp could watch telly. Go on, Carl, go on.
and there was also a fella in the week who said that women shouldn't be wearing trousers
Why?
because they don't look good in them. What do you think? What do you think about
It's rubbish.
that? Yeah.
These are the only things that have caught your eye over the last couple of weeks. This is the entire news.
Galileo did something with light. A French fella said women shouldn't wear trousers. See, that to me wouldn't pass as education.
It's not education.
I don't know where you could ever use that. I don't know when that would ever be applicable to life.
I just like reading stuff that sort of reminds me of. Do you know what I mean? If I read it and it gets me thinking, I think that's a good little piece.
But I mean, but surely can't you just sort of like sit near something that vibrates to keep your brain going, or shake your head every now and again? I mean, what does this do? You mean it makes you start using your brain?
But what aspect of a Frenchman said women shouldn't wear trousers got your mind working? What questions were you
Because I
asking?
thought that's a bit daft, isn't it? Right?
Yeah.
Okay,
I
it
was
ends there
thinking-
with me. There's nothing else. There's nowhere else for me to go on that.
He closes
Your
the
mind's
gate.
still worrying.
Yeah, go on. What do you think? Let's go through this. Oh, I wish we could download his
I know,
thoughts.
I know.
Just watch it.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be great, like a DVD? And
Like a
added-
cartoon.
imagine that extra footage on the Office DVD.
Yeah, Carl's
Carl-
brain.
That would be
With a commentary.
amazing. Oh, with
I
a
mean is-
commentary. Go on.
Women wearing trousers and that, right? On the estate that I grew up in,
Yeah.
on right. There was a woman about 4 houses down, right?
Right.
Rough. Now, she used to wear leggings.
Yeah.
Now they're a bad idea.
They are a terrible idea. I agree with you there, Carl. If you're a lady of
What
the
colour?
normo
Were
persuasion,
they pink?
No, they were sort of black, but with all bits on them.
Oh, right.
Do you know what I mean?
What,
Yeah.
toast and
Just
horse
bits.
droppings? Yeah, go on, yeah.
And she used to. She's quite a big woman.
sure.
Pauline Quirk, I think
Yeah,
we
well,
described her as.
Looked like a light bulb when
It
she was
is those
bending
kind of
over in
women that are
leggings.
attracted to leggings.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
They are drawn to them like a moth that shoots on a flame.
Yeah.
She
yeah.
used to wear them, and that's what I remember when I read this piece. And she used to work on one of those sex line things.
Right.
Right, she used to do that. But
What was she, an engineer?
the weird thing with her was, she had big eyelids
Right.
Go on.
that were too big, and this is what I was thinking.
What,
right?
what do you mean she had big eyelids? How big do eyelids have to be for you to go, they're big eyelids? What was she shoplifting with them? Would she come out of Dixon's with, like, radio stored in them? What do you mean she
No,
had
it
big
was
eyelids?
it was another one of them popular things around our way. Do you know? Like,
What do you mean popular things? They
think
didn't
people
go,
have
they go, oh, I'll tell you what, they're all the rage. Can I get some big eyelids, please?
No. It was just like one of them things that people suffered with. Just big eyelids. They could hardly open their eyes.
What do you mean? What do you mean? That's one of them popular things round where I grew up. People had big eyelids, they could hardly open their eyes. What does that mean? What sort of freak town were you born in? You had webbed feet people with big heads, you got women with big eyelids. What does big eyelids mean?
Are you confusing her with the horse?
yeah. Did she have hooves? Look, what?
Just anyway, so there's this big eyelidded woman with the
And
leggings.
that's what I'm saying to you, though. That's when I read that story with people with trousers.
Yeah.
I went from that.
Yeah.
To
Into
a
that.
woman who used to have big eyelids. I still don't know the point.
But then, and also the other bloke who had the eyelid problem was a mate of mine.
Right.
His dad had it, and same problem, massive eyelids.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means.
I used to say to my mum, I'm going round to Dave's house,
Yeah.
and
Or
to
Drew
say,
Pig,
well,
as you call him.
that's all right, but make sure his dad doesn't take you out in the car because he could hardly. He could hardly see. He had to have his head.
You get to tilt his head back to keep his eyelids
Make
open.
sure! Did he have a couple of matches with him at all times?
What a load of gobbledygook. This began as educating Ricky.
I know,
So
it's
what,
like
he was
people
thinking,
with eyelids.
but it's like you're supposed to make that leap as well.
Yeah.
If I mention the trousers, Ricky will probably be thinking about people with big eyelids and women wearing leggings.
Play a record, Carl.
I got a leaflet through the door saying, you know, if you want to walk a dog, you know, the rates are good. I don't know what they pay and that. And I thought if I do that and get a paper round, 2 in 1.
Sorry, you just went from a job, right, where you were the head of production at a radio station, dare I say it, on... can I discuss your...
Well, it was an all right wage, yeah.
It was very good.
But I wasn't happy, so it's pointless.
No, I know that, but to go from the head of a department on a lot of money to walking dogs and doing a paper round, I don't know.
No, but it's about being happy, isn't it?
I know, but that's commendable if that's true, but... okay.
And
all
that
right.
makes you happier.
Well, I haven't walked the dog yet, but I'm just saying if I do... I mean, I'm not taking it if it's raining. I'm just thinking if it's a nice sunny day and I fancy a potter, I'll go round to her and say, well, how much are you paying? I'll take the dog a walk and stuff.
But I can't believe some of the words that have cropped up. Potter, cobblers, toffee shop. It's very, very strange.
Do you live in Narnia?
A lot of people are sort of emailing in sort of brainy stuff
Brilliant.
and getting a lot of stuff about philosophy
Oh, yeah.
and all that. Descartes, that's another one that's mentioned on an email.
Descartes,
Yeah.
the French philosopher.
Yeah.
What's your question?
Well, he sort of cropped up on an email. Someone said, what do you think of him? And I was like, oh, I don't know.
He famously he pondered his own existence. Cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. He was thinking about that. He was thinking, how do I know all this is true, everything around me? And he thought, well, I can see it and I can smell it and I can hear it. And he went, oh yeah, my senses can be fooled. I could be dreaming. But if I'm dreaming, then at least I'm alive. At least I have some sort of consciousness. So if I'm even thinking about anything, I exist. I think, therefore I am. Cogito ergo sum.
But we don't need to know the Latin bit. Why is everyone always going back to Latin? It was ages ago. Why is that language always being... And were Latin people always in a rush? Because they seem to be like words for full sentences. Why couldn't they just take the time and say what they want to say? And it's just like, what was the rush?
To teach Latin.
What about Plato?
Right, Greek.
Right, now, would you say he's a bright bloke?
Yes, I would. I'd say he's a very, very bright bloke.
Right, let me tell you this. Right, if he's that bright, you know how he got killed?
No.
Got hit on the head by an egg.
Fucking hell! Well, he's not so clever then, is he?
That's what I'm saying.
Boo!
What's the story with the egg?
He was on holiday or something, right? And
He was on holiday.
In Greece, probably.
he was having a walkabout, and a bird was flying over the sort of.
This
over the
bird
beach.
was what? A great auk? What size bird killed him with his egg?
It was a big one, yeah.
Was it?
And the way they used to crack
An ostrich on a hang glider.
the eggs open to let the kids out, they used to drop them on rocks.
What bird is this? Dropping its egg to let the kids out? You're a maniac! You are a maniac!
And Plato had a little bald head.
Right.
So from the top, the bird's there looking down, and it goes, oh, there's a little rock, I'll drop the egg. Hit him on the head, killed him. Now, this is what I was saying before about...
I'm letting too much go now, because I'm so desensitised to his nonsense. I let him go. The bird saw Plato and said, there's a rock down there.
Yeah. Well, if these birds are killing people with bald heads, you've got to be terrified.
So, but listen, this is what I'm saying, though, right? Before about knowledge and that, how knowledge is hassle, or success is hassle.
I think that was Newton. Knowledge is hassle.
Now, but why is Plato's intelligence got anything to do with the fact that this bird dropped an egg on his head?
Because he was intelligent, and he's probably earning a nice few quid by giving out whatever messages he gave out.
Yeah.
He could afford to go on holiday to exotic places. If he was working in a factory, he wouldn't have been on this beach with big birds dropping eggs, is what I'm saying. So, in a way, it backfired. His knowledge killed him.
And that, I think, was Kierkegaard. His knowledge killed him.
He shouldn't have been on the beach. He was only there having a break or whatever from doing what he does. It wouldn't have happened if he wasn't on holiday.
This is an email we've had saying, Carl, what do you take by the well-known saying, a stitch in time saves 9?
Oh, a stitch in time saves 9. Yeah.
See, it's another one that I don't think I've picked up on a lot of these sayings that are being sort of thrown about willy-nilly.
Willy-nilly.
Willy-nilly. Okay.
Willy-nilly.
No, but I, again, it's one of them like last week. I've heard of it, but
what does willy-nilly mean?
It just sort of means, carefree.
That's right, yeah.
Okay, but what does a stitch in time
So
save 9
you
mean?
understood willy-nilly, so you used a
Yeah, but it
phrase.
sounds
you
nice,
used
doesn't
it,
it?
you said it willy-nilly, but you sort of got the gist of it. So what does a stitch in time saves 9 mean?
I don't know.
What do you
must
mean you
know.
don't know? Think about it. A stitch in time saves 9.
Is it to do with sewing?
Well, yeah, sort of. So
Okay,
if-
it's not that clear.
So if you got a jacket,
Yeah.
and the seam starts coming undone, oh, there's a little bit of seam. I'll leave it. Oh, it's getting worse and
Right,
worse. Soon
right.
your sleeve falls off. So you just need 1 stitch there. That'll do it. If you do it now, later you'll need 9 stitches, and that, of course, is an analogy to other things.
But it depends if you're busy at that point, because if you've got something else that needs doing, that means that isn't being done because you're messing about sorting out a hole in your coat. Is what I mean.
Yeah.
You can't always do stuff straight away. So maybe, I don't know. I don't know if there's a sort of a middle ground where you don't have to do it straight away, but stitching
A stitch sometimes
time,
today.
say in 15 or whatever, meaning you don't have to do it straight away, but just do it before it gets really bad.
Brilliant. Do you think yours is less poetic than a stitch in time saves 9? So yours is, this is what you wanted to be a quote, right? Where, well, you could do it now, but if you're doing something else, then, look, well, don't do it immediately, but do it soon so it doesn't get really bad. Karl Pilkington.
No, but it's the same. That's the same way I treat most things in life. It's like I never go to the doctors unless it's really
That is sensible.
bad.
That is very good advice.
No.
That's brilliant advice
Well,
for
it is,
anyone
though.
listening. Never go to the doctors.
Unless it's really bad.
But that's why a lot of people, die because they don't want to bother the doctor, or they're mildly embarrassed, or they don't know symptoms, bad symptoms. Go to the doctor if you're not sure about something. Like you were terrified to go and have your prostate.
Still not doing it.
Why not?
I wish you wouldn't talk about it because now Suzanne will listen to this and she'll go, "Oh yeah, you haven't been," and start dragging it up again.
But why are you worried about a little a qualified
I
doctor?
don't know what they're doing up there.
What they
What
just
year
pop
are we in?
They. What are you talking about? They pop their finger up.
That's what I mean, though.
Why?
Why are they still using the index finger?
What, would you prefer the forefinger or the thumb, would
No.
you?
No, what I mean is we've got.
Or a thumb on a stick, some kind of thumb on a stick.
Yeah, would you prefer it to
A
be
mechanical thumb, a robot thumb.
Why isn't it just a little camera?
Well, they put the camera up if they initially discover something.
But just put the camera up straight away. If I'm
No,
paying
they
for
don't
the
need
visit.
to. They pop the finger up, feel that the prostate isn't swollen, wiggle it around a little bit up your back passage. What are you worried about?
I don't think they need to do
Are
that.
you
in this
embarrassed?
day
Are
and
you
age.
embarrassed about being in a room with your trousers around your ankles and a little fella's popping
A
his...
little bit, yeah.
Why?
And the other thing is, it's not just that, is it? So you go in there, they check your heart out and that, which to me is the most important thing, because that's what keeps you going, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've got to go there. You
Yeah.
sat on the bus, stressing out, thinking, oh, in less than half an hour, I'm going to have a finger up the arse, right?
What is the problem?
And they go
though?
in, they check your heart, they probably check your testicles and that.
What's up with that? They take your testicles, yeah.
Yeah,
That's...
but it's all building, and you sat there going, oh, soon that'll be happening.
Yeah.
And that's what puts me off.
So if they just came round when you were asleep, Suzanne just let them in and goes, he's over there, right?
Yeah.
And they crept up and went, bang. You
You
go, what are you
prefer
doing?
that?
I just don't understand why they don't teach you how to do it yourself.
How can they?
Wow.
How can they teach? Imagine you squatting in a corner with one hand on your bollocks and the other finger up the arse going, it seems to be all right.
Carl, you don't understand the phrase "a stitch in time saves 9." I don't think you should be doing any kind of invasive medical research in your own human body.
But then
Who
if the-
knows what trouble you're going to cause?
No, but then at least
You would get stuck.
Yeah.
You would get stuck.
Susanna come out, your fist would be up your own arse. Okay, I think it's probably time. Let me just check my watch. Yeah, it's monkey news time.
Oh, chimpanzee that monkey news, yeah.
So this week, anyway, it's more about tall buildings and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It was this bloke who was a builder.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And you know what builders are like? They sort of move about, don't they, from sort of building to building, just building.
Well, yeah. Well, once they built it, the building's done, and they move on to build some more.
Building to building, just
Where-
building, yeah.
So he goes to his next job and that, right?
Who does, the builder?
The builder.
Yep.
He goes to like the
The
boss,
new building.
the boss of this building, who's building it.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And he says what unto him?
Do you need anything building?
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, so he says, yeah, there's plenty of work and that going about.
Yep.
He says, we're working on this one here. He said, get going on it, like, there's your bricks and your cement and stuff, get on with it.
Yeah.
So
Any
they,
plans?
so they,
Just build.
Just start building.
Yeah. Go up.
they're getting on with it and stuff, it's all going well. Right?
Yep.
But he notices that there's someone working high up, right, on the
Okay.
top bit. So anyway, he's saying to like the other workers, he's going, who's that up there?
Who's that up
Like,
there?
He's working on his own.
The little fella, was he?
And
The little hairy fella up there.
Who's
he's
the little
saying.
hairy fella up there with the hard hat?
And the other fellows were going, look, don't ask questions, the boss decides who he takes on. We're happy to be getting paid here.
Don't ask questions! Well, I'll see him when he comes down.
So he said, well, he's pretty impressive, the work rate he's doing, the way he's getting from one girder to the other. He doesn't
Swinging,
seem,
is he?
He doesn't seem to be scared of the heights or anything. He said, no, just let him get on with it, we work well as a team. So anyway,
What nonsense is
So-
this?
so-
He believes all this.
Yep.
so he sees the boss and he goes, that fella up there, who's the fella up there? He's pretty good. And he's like, look, just get on with the job, I'll pay you, let's just all get on with our jobs. That. Lunchtime comes, they're all sat on a little wall having the sandwiches. He's thinking he'll come down in a bit. He's just carrying on.
Is he just still going?
Still going on that, right? So the fella says to the boss man, he says, isn't that fella up there going to come down and join us for lunch? He said, like I said, mate, don't worry about him, right? He
He's
said,
very
"Look,"
secretive. I'm suspicious about this fella. I don't know.
Yeah,
why,
I don't know.
I don't know why he's working through his lunch. I don't know why he's not scared of heights. And I don't know why he's swinging from girder to girder. It's weird. Go on.
So he said, oh, anyway, you've reminded me that he's up there. He said he's doing a lot of riveting and stuff up there. He probably needs some more nuts to...
Right, sure. And what kind of nuts is that? Is that nuts to food or?
So he said, what, nuts? He said, yeah, just there's a bag full of them there. Just put them on the hook, send them up, and he can get on with his job. So anyway, he picks these nuts up.
Nuts,
right?
yeah.
Just hooks them on. He thinks they're not that heavy,
No.
considering, they're normally pretty heavy, aren't they? Like nuts
big
and
bag of
bolts and
nuts,
stuff.
yeah.
So anyway, he has a little glance in.
Oh, no, what's in there?
Nuts.
What, you mean nuts that you can eat?
Nuts that you can eat.
Oh.
Right? So they send the bag up and he's thinking, what's all that about? He checks him out, starts to stare, works it out. You can see that he's a little chimp running about. So he goes, I'm not happy with this.
Why
So-
isn't he?
Because he's working for an organisation that's, there's unions for this sort of stuff, isn't there?
Yeah, he's not going, that's amazing. They've got a chimp riveting this building together.
Yeah.
That's not scary. He's wondering if they're breaking union rules.
So he
You
goes,
don't have to talk
So he goes and has a word with
he
the
goes
boss.
to the boss and he goes, look, I've worked out what you're playing at here.
Yeah.
He said, oh, them
Is
out
the
there.
boss sitting in a tyre?
So he goes, look, we're just all trying to earn a living here. He said, don't get involved in it. I'm happy to pay you, but I'm paying him. Don't interfere.
He's paying him.
And he's saying, look, I'm just not happy with this. It's not allowed. So the boss was saying, well,
We
to be
pay
honest,
peanuts, we get monkeys.
mate, he said, to be honest, mate, he's a great worker. He's known for doing what he does. He's a good grafter. If one of you's going to go, right, I'm afraid I'll have to let you go because
Blimey.
he's been here longer than that.
He was made redundant.
None of
because
that
the monkey.
happened.
He was laid off.
None of that happened.
He's laid off and that. And that's
No.
where that saying about, like there's a lot of tower blocks and that in America. It's like the chimp off the old block is where... So that's monkey news.
De La Soul, old school.
Brilliant,
roller skating jam named Saturday.
Brilliant.
Yeah, good stuff. Carl, so educating Ricky, you were going to tease us now with some of the big headlines you've got.
Look at
Get him
dancing.
grooving. He really is in the
He
groove there.
really is dancing there.
Right.
Right.
So
Okay.
the way this works is
What would you rather be, Carl?
I teach you
Superheroes.
3 things.
A frog boy, yeah,
Right.
that you could leap onto a house, but you had to go bleh, first and leap onto a house. You're this frog boy, right? And that could be useful, couldn't it?
That's very useful, yeah.
Right, amploid, where you've got your hands are microphones, and you can talk into your hand and your whole body. It's like 100 decibels. You can go, "Oi, come here," and people can hear you from miles away. Amploid, right, right. Or sado, right, and that means that you can go up to anyone and go, all right, and they don't know why, they just get fed up for the whole day.
Which of those would you prefer? Don't answer now. Have a think about it. Have a think about it.
The frog thing, do I look like one, or...
No, you're just you and your little Ben Sherman shirt and everything, and they go, and people walk along and they go, oh, look at that young child from on that roof. He's gonna fall. I wish Frog Boy was here. And you go, blah, and you go down, you go, blah, and they go, here's him. And they don't recognise you when you're squatting. They go, I don't know who you are. And you leap up there and save, and you come back and they go, where's Frog Boy? And you're standing up and you go, don't know, he went that way.
Yeah, I'd probably have that one.
Probably go with Frog Boy?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Okay, go on.
Right, so, did that just go out?
What?
All that.
Go on, I've got a bad...
Hey, look, Rick, Carl's really planned this show. He's really worked out. He came in early, he was writing things down.
And there's me
planning
just
it,
coming up with rubbish
and
like
you're just
that.
talking rubbish. So, Carl, I know you've been
Right.
thinking this through. What have you got?
So, Educating Ricky, we did it last week. It's where I teach you some stuff, but rather than just teach you something, I tease you, so you want to know more, so you want to take in information, right? So,
If only people had taught you like that, Carl.
so
And also, it's the name of a film, sort of. Nearly.
Coming up soon, Henry VIII and his, well, how many wives? Come back tomorrow, Carl, to find out.
right, the little headlines I've got to sort of tease you with the story.
Yeah, this is gonna hurt me and I'm not very well. Go on.
Right, we've got
So this is what, sorry, I've just got lost for a minute there.
It's Educating Ricky.
This is Educating Ricky,
Yeah.
and these are the stories that these are the things you're going to tell him.
yeah.
But these are just headline versions.
These are headlines
This is not
because
the actual fact.
then I think people will remember things. if
Okay, alright, so you,
do know what I mean?
sort of bullet points.
Who can forget Hairy Chinese Boy?
Indeed, I shall never forget that.
Yeah.
So, first headline,
Ooh.
don't do that to it, you know it can't live without an head.
I've got no idea. It could be about the French Revolution, it could be about anything.
I know what it is!
No, you think you do, but...
No, it's something I taught you! Is it the fact that cockroaches can live for 9 days without a head?
That's part of it, but it's something different as well, that's why I thought we'd bring it up.
okay.
Okay, brilliant. So that's something to...
Next one, you won't work it out. If only it was raining.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Go on.
And the last one, what's tomato with you?
What's tomato with you?
Yeah.
Look how pleased he is.
You're obsessed with puns, aren't you, at the moment, Kay?
It just works, I think it works.
Yeah. You love puns.
So, there you go.
So which of
Okay.
those are you going to choose, right?
Oh, well, I'm gonna have to choose. Don't do that, you know it can't live without an head.
Can we play a tune and we'll come back with
Yeah,
that?
I reckon.
Find out what that is.
Yeah.
Wow, what a history lesson that's going to be.
Dandy Warhols and Bohemian Like You on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant and Karl Pilkington. Karl, what's the story then?
Right, so what did you say you're going for? You've got your 3 titles, your 3 teasers.
Well, I think I'm gonna go for Don't Do That to It, you know it can't live without an head.
I'm looking forward to this.
Right.
Right.
So this is Educating Ricky, for those that
Yeah.
have just tuned in.
Now, something that Ricky told me about when he was educating me was that a cockroach, if you cut its head off, it lives for a week,
Yeah.
right?
And the
And
only
what
reason it dies is 'cause it can't take on water.
Sure. It doesn't have a great time in that week, though, does it?
No.
I mean, it doesn't get
No.
much done, I don't imagine.
It just needs water, and because it can't find any, like its eyes, it eventually dies,
Yeah.
right?
No.
So what?
No, it's not, that's not, it's 'cause
Anyway.
it can't drink.
Anyway.
So have you heard that one about worms?
Okay.
I have, go on.
If you cut a worm in half,
Yeah.
a lot of people have said in the past that it'll turn into 2 worms,
Right.
but that isn't actually true.
Okay. Who said that?
No, it used to be like, you know,
Kids at school
they
said
said
that.
it on, kids at school and stuff.
Yeah.
So that, you know, a lot of people think that.
Don't pick him up on stuff, Steve, it's bad enough.
Sure.
So, but what they can do, if you get a worm, right, and you find out which end its head's at,
Right.
if you you've got its head there at the left-hand side, right, and if you sort of cut it in half,
Right.
but not in half, so there's more of its neck than the tail, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bit that you've cut off will sort of die, and the rest of the worm will get better. So in a way, you can cut it in half, and it'll survive, but only one half will survive.
Okay.
Yeah? What have you learned
I
there?
wish you hadn't chosen that one, Rick, to be honest.
I know, because it's not. It's nothing, is it?
Yeah,
You know
don't know what
that joke, you know that
information is.
joke, how would you tell a worm's head from its eye? You put it in a bowl of flour and wait till it farts.
Yes.
Right? I told my mate that, right? And he went, what if it coughs?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, there is a bit of truth in that myth of cutting one in half.
Where did you get this information? I don't understand where you get this
That
information
was from the Fortean Times. It was like the myth about worms.
Yeah.
That was the big article that week.
Did it take you as long to read that article as it took you to tell us just then?
I like the fact that it starts off debunking a myth
Yeah.
that we hadn't heard of anyway.
Exactly.
You know the big thing about cutting a worm in half and making 2 worms?
No.
Yeah. What's the other one? What's
I
the
mean,
other
it's not
headline?
the thing to do either, by the way. Don't go doing it.
No. It's not very nice. It's cruel.
But it can get by
and
if
it's
you do.
pointless.
Yeah.
There's no scientific worth
Yeah.
in that.
Well, there you go.
Okay then.
So the others now, you see
was the
what I
others?
do.
What
No,
was
I
the
tell you
others?
the other titles. You're not having them yet. That's the whole idea of this. People will be driving or about to go out doing the shopping. They'll think about that now.
What was the other 2?
Well, the other two.
They won't think about that. They've forgotten
No,
that.
they will. They will.
No, they've forgotten that already.
If only it was raining. And what's tomato with you?
Right,
That-
you've
I'm
got to
looking
tell
forward
us-
to that one.
No, you've got to tell me tomato with you.
Look what's happening. You see, you already want more education, and this is what listeners will be doing.
I tell you, I wish you were a teacher. I so wish you were a teacher.
Do you know what I mean? Kids would be saying, I know it's 3:30, but I don't want to go home, I want more.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm doing with you. I'm teaching you.
Why are
taking
you
in
teaching
information.
me things about not to cut worms in half and what's tomato with you? Please tell me what's tomato with you, Carl.
In a bit.
No.
In a bit.
Rick,
What?
I tell you, he's thought the show through. He's
Yeah.
teasing the audience. You're excited. They're listening.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. So listen, I think we should all, because we got your competition to squeeze, and we got all these great goodies. Let's not
This is
forget.
amazing.
Hello, children of the corn.
I do feel
We've
slightly
got to get that
guilty
away
that,
before
that,
3
that now this is Carl Pilkington show. I don't think we should have our names involved.
No.
It's not fair, is it? And I think we should give Carl the money.
I don't want my
Yeah.
name to this. It's a Ricky Gervais show. Yeah? Right, the quiz.
Yeah.
Will we get that out of the way, because they've only got an hour to start.
Don't you worry
emailing.
about that, Carl. I've already got this one. I'm thinking on your terms now. Let's play a tune. We'll come back
What
with
we
the big competition information. All right? Money Mark. We got a classic from Money Mark from his album Push the Button. Play that, Carl. And afterwards, are you excited? You got the competition. Look at his face. He's so excited now. He's
he's
thought this through.
He's loving it.
Rockbusters.
Yeah. What?
Agreed.
Yeah.
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 Should we do that?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Go on.
You're rejuvenated, are you?
Yeah,
You're
let's
feeling
go for it
okay?
now. Let's-
Second hour.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hangover finished with?
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
all done? Good.
Done. I had some water.
Excellent. That'll often sort it out.
Yeah.
Well done.
Flea is the best way.
He just had an argument with a punter. Someone called up and said, I don't think a flea's very good. How would the flea know? Tell him what he said. He said, how would the flea know what train to get on? He went, he gets to Houston and look at the timetable.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he went, we're not going to agree on this. He got annoyed at him, because the bloke said he'd be better to be a wasp.
Yeah.
A wasp would not survive, would it, on, a Virgin train or something? So...
Why wouldn't it?
It just wouldn't, because people really don't like wasps, so somebody would end up clouting it and killing it, and that brain would never get to his body.
Yeah.
So,